solidifying a condition off of something that is a negative attribute. Defining negative is like defining what a chemical spill is. We're all always interacting with chemicals spilling because that's how our digestive tract works. But how different is it when you're like looking at a different thing is absolutely absurd if you're talking about when an explosion occurs in outer space. The defiance of how a gas cloud interacting with a black hole is somewhat an occurrence of which major heat dystrophy of currents. Was heat dystrophy of currents important? This has to do with how much arc angles are prominent. If you're saying one line of train of thought has anything to do with a resemblance from point A to point B, it would have to be described in an arc length. An arc length is something around a circle and can be used as to define an entire wavelength. An entire wavelength is a real important factor in geometry because its basis resembles your genome code. Your genome code is something that is a physical attribute that's a defiant identification of you and moves around your body and is not a wave but is in the shape of one, or a double helix. Other shapes that resemble arc length have to do with hair. How close your hair is to your scalp shows finer hairs the closer you look in at it. But people are always losing hair the more that you have of it. Like if you're combing it, you might have a sensation to feel extreme pulls on your hair that feel really good. This is tuning the fine hairs around your scalp. How much does a bald eagle's scalp have fur instead of? Just as a person getting their hair knotted or braided in cornrows, there's an exception with how much your hair is in different cuts when it's being braided, with the end result showing how your skull has imperfections. If it's person braiding the cornrows with the perfections in mind, it would complement it, and that's what good art looks like. If the weaving of an end product of a cornrow hairdo is done well, it should incorporate any deviations of your head anatomy with the haircut. In the meantime and in between time, these are what is cataloged as things that could go wrong, but you're personalizing the saying, so it's as though picking sides is a thing. This is of occurrence in going to the law of a judge if he's writing you in because of a problem that you had. As an adult, you'll probably see a judge once or twice in your life, and those times will be either on a computer or in person. If it's during a lockdown, you're probably gonna see him on a computer. Note: entering a courthouse through an internet video web camera isn't a click of a button. It takes several keystrokes or clickings to get the audio to work. And in getting the audio to work, the judge's video of him is just waiting and proceeding because he knows everyone has this problem with entering in audio off of a mute button once you enter a court hearing from a webcam. Super ghetto the way he tries to ignore the problem, whereas when you're seeing the judge for the problem, this most minuscule audio not being on can make your case to be thrown into a no contest pile. What this means is that you're present but aren't talking if you plead the fifth, but in pleading the fifth because of a webcam software application not being able to get clicked on because you're entering this website where you haven't done it before, website being the program of the web camera, could be costly. An arm and a leg when there wouldn't be a no contest interplay. There's this constant need I have to make the world better, and so in downtime, if it's not a full production, then I don't think that it's a fulfillment of anything that would be brushed aside by AI in the future. And so when USA has like all these like infiltrations of like we've got all these infiltrations of how inflation is bad, or like other things of how inflation is bad, and then there's like Hollywood that is not like as what it used to be because all the actors are going in the direction of shutting down production whenever the safety of the film crew is at stake. And if that isn't beating around the bush with saying lockdown, then I don't know what is. But there's all these articles of clothing that were in like these well-written films, and so if you're looking closer at them in meaning of how they're made, it's important because then you can memorize things that have to do with stuff that can save your life, like knowing surface areas and math.